Jared, we'll just check some of your swing videos from this term and the previous term and go over a couple of the important things you need to work on. So I think some of the most important things that you need to do is ensure that at least 50% of the time you're fixing on a target and then using alignment sticks maybe at your feet line and another one outside of the target line, and then possibly something else through here to make sure you've got the right angle to ensure that you know where the ball position is for the type of shot you're trying to play. So if you're trying to play a high fade type shot, you may be moving the ball more forward in your stance. If you're trying to play a lower, a draw type shot, it's going to need to come back a little bit more in the stance. I know you've gone through stages where you've had your alignments very open and the ball position back, but it just makes it a little bit more complicated when you're doing that. So my preference would be that you set up as near as you can to square to your alignment, square to your target line, and have the ball in the appropriate position for the type of shot you're trying to play and the type of club you're hitting. So we want to try and make you want to try and make your swing as simple as you possibly can as well. So that means not too much change in path and plane, because that's going to affect your club face control as well. We can see here that club face is just a little bit closed at that stage in your swing. Swing path or a little bit outside, and then swing plane a little bit upright. So there's going to be a need now for that shaft to flatten out to help open up that club face. So that's what's happening there. Now, one of the things that I'm not in favour of with that type of, too much of that type of movement, is that if you choose to do a half swing or a three-quarter swing, you haven't got the same amount of time to correct that club face. So it's very easy to hit what appears to be a pull. If you're doing a half to three-quarter swing shot, it's not really a pull, it's just because your club face is closed. So if we can get that shaft a little bit more on path, on plane, right throughout the swing with every club, you'll find that you can easily hit your knockdown shots, your three-quarter shots, and they can still go straight. So we'll take a look at this front view here. This one from May. We'll go back and have a look at one from the beginning of the year as well. So ball position there looks pretty good for a straight type shot, maybe a high straight one. Sometimes I think you have a little bit of a tendency to separate a little bit with the right bicep here. It shows up sometimes when you're hitting your longer clubs, and the tendency is going to be that you'll leave the ball out to the left, or it'll curve to the left if you do too much of that. So we need to watch out for that. Maybe you can do a little bit of training with something underneath that armpit, or just tucking your shirt underneath it can help, or using a swing shirt or a towel or something like that can help as well. So we'll just have a look at a driver and see if we can pick up any of that. Oh, this is still 9. Yeah, okay, looks pretty good. Okay, here's a driver. So club face looks good there, shaft is in a good neutral position, top half tilt slightly away from the targeted address with a little bit, with an even weight distribution on your feet and legs. So we want to try and maintain those angles as well as the angles when we look from behind, your spine angle and your knee flex, if we can do that, then you have a fair chance to hit in the center of the club face. So you've turned around your spine pretty good there. Okay, and then this is where at times I can see just a little bit of the disconnection of the right arm from the chest. So if you start hitting the ball and it's curving to the left or hanging out to the left, that may be one of the factors, is that this lead arm, your right arm, just bends a little bit and doesn't want to then rotate, and that keeps the club face a fraction open, and that's going to make the ball hang out to the left or curve to the left. So posture there looks good. We need to be able to, key thing is we need to be able to maintain that posture, need to be able to maintain the knee flex, and hopefully then you can hit it in the center of the club face. Gone back ever so slightly to the inside, but that's good. Club face at the top looks pretty sound position. And the club face in this area here is also pretty good. You should be able to deliver that club back on the ball pretty square. It appears as though this one is going to come slightly out of the heel. So that might mean that looks like it's a little in the heel there. So that's going to look like the club face is flipped over, but that's probably not a normal condition there. So we need to keep working on normal standard things like you're maintaining your spine angle throughout your swing, you're maintaining your knee flex and your balance on your feet, and then you can work on hitting straight to fade shots or straight to draw shots. And I think you need to come up with the best way for yourself to do that, whether or not that's a ball position thing, whether or not that's a club face at address thing, or whether it's a release thing or a swing path type of thing. You need to work out what is the most effective way for you to curve the ball. And this is a swing from a little bit earlier in the year. So the only changes that I see in your swing over time are that you have a tendency to move the ball around in your stance, and that your alignments can sometimes get a little bit too open when you do that as well. The other thing that I think you need to monitor is your weight movement in your lower half. So at times it appears as though your belt line actually goes down the top part of your backswing or early in your backswing. So this movement here is actually very good. It looks like your right hip is staying nice and high there. So we want to keep that belt line level as much of the time as we can. So, but at other times I've seen you where your weight appears to go the wrong way in your lower half in relation to your top half. So that's something I think you need to monitor and keep an eye out on, and something we can work on the force plates going forward.